Hello, flower friends. This is Jen, and you are listening to the Floral Hustle podcast. I almost forgot what to say because I'm so excited for my guest today. I have been following her on Instagram, and you know what? You guys probably follow her as well. And if you don't, you're going to be running to follow her now. So this is my friend Courtney. And Courtney, tell me about your business and kind of just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on here. So kind of how I started is that I graduated from Texas A&M University. It's a big college in Texas. And like 2 weeks later, I had some girlfriends ask me to do their wedding flowers because I graduated with a BA in horticulture. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not doing this. Like I just graduated. I don't know what I'm doing. And my parents really encouraged me to do my own company because they knew I was going to work so hard for somebody else, like under their name.
Yeah.
And they just pushed me, and we launched Coneflower Designs in 2018. And here we are. We do weddings and events.
Flower come from? Like, do you love coneflowers or?
Well, I did. I mean, now I love them even more. So cone is actually a nickname that my family calls me. And then a cone flower is an actual type of flower. And then I just added on designs to make it fancy.
I like it. And you've had the same name the whole time then, it sounds like?
The same name, the same logo, all the things.
All the things. Okay. And so you primarily do weddings. Do you do any other?
Weddings and events.
Okay. So no like everyday deliveries or things like that?
No. I worked in a flower shop in college, and I knew immediately, I was like, I don't want to be a daily florist.
Yeah,
it was just so much.
There's a certain breed of person to do that, but some people prefer it. So to each their own. Like I would do a big event, then 30 little things, but that's just how I'm wired. And what's like, do you do a lot of bigger events? How many events do you usually do a year?
So typically in a year, we probably do average like 200 between weddings and events. 200. Yeah. So we do volume over like massive events. So I thrive in having like 10 smaller events in a weekend versus one massive one. So a lot of ours are very like, I would say average maybe like 2,500 to 5,000. And like, those are my people. Like, I love it. But yeah, big events, I will freelance for other people, but I typically don't prefer to take them on. I will, and I have, but the stress that comes with it is just like insane to me. Like I do not like it.
Like what's stressful about it? That's fascinating to me because it's stressful for me to have a lot of little weddings.
Yeah, it's weird. People are like, you're crazy. I don't know what like the key point is about it, but I just literally
is it like the money, like that much money for one thing? Does that?
Maybe in a sense. But for us, like I don't do a lot of rentals. So I used to do candles when I first started, and I like after a year I was like, no, like I don't like it. It was just not in my eyes like profitable. And what's really kind of different from what we do is that we don't do strikes. So we don't clean up at the end of the night. So everything that our clients purchase, like it's theirs to keep. So the containers, like everything. So I kind of shifted towards it. So in the beginning, of course, you're trying to get your name out there. You're doing whatever you can. You're taking on anything, honestly, whether you're making money or not. You just say yes to everything. And these bigger events, it just seemed more demanding. And that not every client, but a lot of the clients and their planners and kind of team that they had just didn't really seem to care a lot about my input in it, in my professional opinion. And so I was like, you know what? This isn't making me happy. Like it's making me really stressful. Like I'm going to do what I really want to do and take on a lot of smaller events than bigger ones. So I don't know what it is about it, but I'm like, I'll help anybody else do it, but I don't want to be the head person for it.
So I'm putting some math together. If you do 2,500 to 5 and you do 200, do you have like a $400,000 a year business? Is that like about where it falls? Because mine was 325, but I did 56.
Probably around there. Yeah. So that's like average. So yeah, I mean, it's been really overwhelming. I feel like we've grown very, very fast. But like this year, we definitely won't even probably come close to that number. Like this year is a very like slow, weird year. So I wouldn't say every year has been that
Well,
good,
last
but
year
the
was a
past
good
few
year.
years,
Last year I think
yes.
was a good year. So
Yeah.
this, are you noticing things are looking slimmer?
Yeah, for sure. Like our bookings right now is just super low. Like people, the inquiries are still coming, but they're just like not following through. And it's across this like industry right now. So it's a
Yeah.
comfort in the fact that knowing that it's like not just florists are going through it, but photographers, venues, like wedding planners. So I think the economy plays a big role in it. Um, and somebody told me that when COVID hit, people
Yep.
couldn't date for a
Well,
year, and so
the
we're seeing that.
average person from when they meet to when they get married is 3 years. 3 years
Yeah.
we're in lockdown. So
Hmm.
like dating, I mean, the world was weird. Can you imagine dating?
Dating.
World was that weird. And you're like,
Yeah.
you seriously could have cooties. Just like I thought when I was a little kid, like I had to stay away from the boys because they might have people
Yeah.
seriously could have had cooties. And so
Hmm.
it's funny that that's affecting us now. Isn't that weird? Because like then I
Yeah.
didn't even think that it would be on the radar, but it definitely is. Uh
Yeah.
what are you going to do to fill your time then? Like I saw that you launched a program doing some coaching and
Yep.
then you have a flower library. So tell me about those.
Yeah. So with this like slow time that we have, I was like, obviously, like you own a business to make money. Like you have to do something to fill your time and have that income. And with our Instagram kind of taking off for whatever reason, people love to see the behind the scenes and all the little things that we do. A lot of people were asking me for like one-on-one time,
Yeah.
which I think is just a huge compliment and something that I'm still not over. Like I'm like, I just turned 29. Like, why do you want to talk to me? Like I share silly little videos. And so I
They're not
launched
silly.
it.
I have
Oh,
so many of your things. Like they're not silly. Like when you learn how to do this job simpler and easier, things just feel better. You're not
that's true.
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And like being a florist is surprisingly overwhelming to a lot of people. And so
Mhm.
anytime you can make it simpler and feel better, I think who doesn't want to feel better? And your
Yeah,
products that you're talking about from Amazon are like, I'm going to make this easier, if
that's
that
true.
makes sense. So it
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. So when all of that happened, we launched coaching calls just to basically see what would come of it.
Mhm.
Because my parents are always like, well, at least you tried, right? Like if it doesn't work, at least you tried. You could never
Yeah.
like hold that against yourself. And so we launched it. We've had a few here and there, which have been great. Like,
Yeah.
and what's crazy about it is it's people asking like questions that I take for granted, like very simple things that I'm like, wait, how do you not know that? Or like,
Yeah.
how have you been doing it? When we do it like this, which seems so much simpler. But yeah, so we launched that. And then with coaching calls, I have something called a flower library that I created for my team. So a lot of people that come into the industry, they don't really have experience. At least with my team, I don't require it because I feel like you can teach anybody about flowers. So what I was doing is that I was taking pictures of every single product that came into our studio. I'd have a picture in the very front. I'd have the name of it and then how many stems come in a bunch or if it's weighted, um, the colors that it comes in, and how to process it, what size bucket it goes in, just to make it easier for my team to learn. So instead of asking me a million times in a week what the same flower was, they could just go to our binder, to our flower library and look it up. I
So it's a
mentioned
big
it on
binder,
our
like in your studio. So like, I mean, for anybody who's seeing this on YouTube, like it's just like a binder, like kind of like
yeah,
this. Okay.
yeah. So we have, I call it our like Coneflower Bible because we have that section and then we have a bunch of other sections in it. But I had
Like
mentioned it,
processes or like process sections or
processes, systems, like how to pull supplies, how to wash buckets, how to clean the vans, like
you have your
literally
SOPs.
everything.
They
Yes.
call it SOPs. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mentioned it on stories one day, or maybe I posted a video and it was like I was looking at something and people were like, what is that? Like, what are those pictures? And I was like, I went back, I was like, what are they talking about? And I asked my team, I was like, do you think they're talking about this like flower library that we created? And they were like, yes, absolutely. And so at that point, I had just been doing it like page by page and printing it. Like I didn't have it all in one place. And
Electronically.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, oh, it's for my team. Like, who cares?
Yep.
And so the past few months, we like basically redid the whole thing and put it in a PDF. And we add to it every single week and we update it and we launched it. So people could buy it and it like
It's
people
inexpensive,
died.
if I remember correctly. Like it's
Yeah, so
not
it's
crazy.
130.
Which for
Um,
that to do that yourself would take so much
yeah,
time.
it's a lot. It's a lot. But we are going to relaunch it every season. So like in the fall, we'll relaunch it with more pages added to it. So the
Okay.
people who have bought it already will get it at like a lesser discount to get the update, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. That makes
Because they don't need to pay for the same thing twice in a sense when we're only adding maybe like 30, 40 pages to it.
30, 40 pages is a lot.
Yeah, no, I think right now it's like 135 maybe or so, but we've already added probably I'd say 15 pages in like a month maybe. Yeah.
That's bananas.
Yeah.
So
But it's crazy though, because little things like that, like I was just like, oh, like my team needs something to reference to because they can't learn. Like I can't be in all the places at once. And
right.
so if we have something they can reference before they need me, like that just cuts out time and they thrive in it too. So one of my girls was like, can I take this home and like just quiz myself? I was like, absolutely. Like, of course you can because it shows they want to learn and they really want to like fine
Like
tune
our
everything. So
flashcards for them to
yeah,
practice.
exactly. Yeah. So it's been a really great tool. And I think other people have just like loved it because they can add their own little notes or how they process things or whatever it might be. But it is really helpful.
So do you love organization? Are you like a serial organizer?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I have someone like that that works in my studio. She just loves organizing everything. It's like in your bone.
Yes. Yeah.
But
I thrive on it.
you have systems and like the girls were all talking in the studio about your Lazy Susan
Oh, yeah.
racetrack. I don't know what the
Hmm.
name, but it was like that was the craziest thing. I don't know where you would store it because it looked huge. But if you're making and banging out 20 centerpieces, that is
Hmm.
the thing to have because I'm guessing you
Oh,
assemble
yeah.
line everything.
Yeah. So typically, like if we know we have a big event, we'll use that. So one person will be on one side, I'm on the other, and then I'll use one greenery, she uses one greenery, and we just rotate it. But yeah, it's amazing. It all breaks down. Of course, I have it in a little bin that's labeled and it fits perfectly. But yeah, that was something that I found last year. And I saw it and was like, I wonder if this will work. So the trays don't actually spin, but they rotate around on the track.
Yeah.
So nobody knows this, but I actually bought like little 6-inch Lazy Susans that I'm going to glue on top of them. So it'll rotate and you can rotate the design on it.
Of course
It's
you are.
crazy. It's crazy, but it works so well. So it's like products that you wouldn't normally like ever think of to use in our industry, but you just have to tweak it and it helps so much. It's really, really efficient.
So you have an Amazon store, and I think that, I mean,
Yep.
obviously I've bought things out of there. Like, do you get a lot of people buying those things? I would just think that that's probably a real thing right now for you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I,
Honestly, I'm still just not like over it. Like people asking me, and now it's not even like floral related stuff. So I went to Massachusetts this past weekend and people were like, "What is that? Like, can you link that? Can you share that? Like, what are your travel must-haves? What is that?" And I'm like, I talked to my mom. I'm like, "Mom, these people, it's like weird because I don't see myself like that.
well,
Like, I
you
don't think
you
I
don't.
ever will."
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait, mom, they want to know like where my cup's from. Like, are you kidding? But it is crazy. So I did start the Amazon storefront because multiple people were asking me about the same thing.
Yeah,
And it's not about getting, it being like an affiliate marketing type situation. It's more
making it
about like
easy because it's hard to
just
hunt.
making it
Fine.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being helpful for people who are supporting my business online. And if
Yeah.
I can help them by linking something to my storefront, then why wouldn't I do it?
So I don't know if you've noticed because with an affiliate you could look at what, is selling. Like, what do you think your
Yeah.
like top three Amazon products that you refer are?
So top three would be the collapsible cart
Okay, I have
that we
that. Yep.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Our bud vases that we get from Amazon are pretty popular.
Okay.
The pop-up trash can that we were talking about
I
before we
have
started.
4 of those. Yep.
Yeah. And then recently, a few weeks ago, I shared these little like mosquito patches that I wear. So instead
The
of
the
putting,
natural patch ones, like you put them
yeah,
on and they keep the bugs away.
hmm people like died over them. That was like our number one selling product, like since we shared it. It was crazy.
So have you seen the ones that are actually for bug bites?
Mm-mm.
So natural patch, like my kids are highly reactive to bug
Yeah.
bites. Like, I mean, my son looked like he got a baseball bat to his head, like, because they
Oh,
just
wow.
up really big. And
Yeah.
these natural patches, they look like little, almost like tic-tac-toe, little,
Hmm.
like little band-aids, and you stick it directly on whatever bug bite, and it puts, like a Benadryl type of antihistamines in it. And I like put them all over my kids all the time, and they are so helpful.
Hey.
These patches are so weird, but so helpful especially when you have
Yeah.
a kid that's so reactive. And that's why those patches are probably helpful because so many
Hmm.
kids are just hyper reactive to bug bites. And
Yeah.
we especially are around so many different, like, I've had stuff crawl out of my flowers when I've been unboxing it.
Oh
There's
my gosh.
in there. I
Yeah,
I seriously, there
it's
was
true.
a slug. I don't know what the craziest thing you found, but there was a 4-inch slug that
Oh,
came
heck no.
out. Oh, I was like, I mean, I've had lizards and
Lizards. Oh my God, I haven't had a lizard.
yep. But this 4-inch slug, because it was like dark black and it was so, I still can't get over
Yeah.
it.
That's crazy.
And ours, I'm in Minnesota, so like they're in a lot of coolers. So I'm like, how are
Yeah.
you alive? Like, how is
Right.
this happening? Because they're in a cooler all the way from Miami, trucked up to here. So like 3 days
Mhm.
in a cold truck, and then at my wholesaler. I don't understand. But there's some
Yeah.
things that come out of flowers sometimes that we all need bug patches to
We
stay.
do. Now I need you to send me the link to that because I need those.
Yes, they're pretty great. I've been actually thinking because I get asked some of the things that I have.
Mm.
And I've been thinking of starting an Amazon store, but it's just kind of overwhelming sometimes because it's like I have to have a landing page for them to approve it, all the things. I don't know. I'll get
It
to it.
is it is a lot. I mean, I would definitely recommend it, but it is a lot to keep up with. I
Yeah.
will say I'm pretty much on my computer, my iPad, my phone all day until I go to bed. Because I just feel bad. Like I have this guilt that like, oh my God, people are asking questions and they're waiting for an answer. Like they're waiting to hear back from me. And I do try to get back to everybody, but it has just been so overwhelming lately.
Your DMs have been
Yeah.
overwhelming. I know I had to
Yeah.
stalk you because you're
I
so.
know. I felt so bad. I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I knew that that was the case. And what's funny is that maybe you need to get ManyChat, like to automate some of these conversations so you're
I
not
do.
do
So
you
I do use it for like the links, like you comment the word and
comment?
it'll
Yeah.
like send it. So I do use that, but I haven't used it for anything else. I'll have to look
Yeah,
into that.
maybe figuring out because I mean, when you're trying to run a business and you're trying to help people and you're doing potentially coaching calls and things, it is
Yeah.
kind of a lot. But it has
Hmm.
organization always been like a super strength of yours?
I feel like it has, and my parents are always like, where did this come from? Because they were like organized, but not nearly like I am.
Yeah.
And I think with having my garage converted to my studio, like I knew that stuff had to be in order, or else I was just going to be anxious all the time because we couldn't find anything. And so I mean, we still move stuff around. We kind of have it fine tuned now, but the organization, it just like honestly, it just comes natural.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just like things in order. I like things color coded. If I can find a little product to help, help it be more organized, then why not use it?
Yeah. And I mean, with the volume of events that you were doing, you have to
Yeah.
be organized because, like, I'm doing, last year was like 56 and some were big. I had some
Hmm.
$20,000 weddings. Like,
Yeah, those
even
are huge.
that is a lot. Like, that's just
Yeah.
keeping track of 56 people,
Hmm.
and 56 things. Keeping track of
Yeah.
100. The most I ever did was 125. And
Hmm.
that was when I was working full time though, and before children, thank God. Otherwise, I probably would have been in a straitjacket. But It's a lot.
It's a lot.
All those
It's
details.
a lot. And I will say it's not like so 250, it could be like just personal flowers, not even like a full-blown event. It might just be like bouquets for, a wedding. So I hopefully people hear this and they're not like, there's no way she's doing like full-blown
If it's a la
250
carte,
weddings.
like, is it a la
It's
carte?
a la carte.
Basically
Yeah.
sending them. Do you have it on your webpage, or do you only do it like via email and sending a brochure or something like that?
It's so we didn't even talk about this before. I have Coneflower, which is all customized work. So if people want something custom, then they chat with me. They might chat with Danielle, who's kind of like my assistant. She does emails and helps me on the back end, but it's all customized. So they get their quote, we go over it, they can change things. But then I found that a lot of people were just wanting like white and green wedding flowers. They didn't really care about what type of flowers. So when COVID happened, I noticed a lot of people had lower budgets. Yeah, because they were having to cancel
smaller
things.
Weddings too. Yeah,
they had smaller weddings. And to have custom work, I mean, you're still ordering 25 cents of roses just to use 3 roses for a bouquet. Like they weren't meeting our minimum in a sense to get custom work. So I actually launched a second flower company called Simply Cone, which is 12 collections. They're pre-designed items that they can choose from. They're set pricing, but they can't customize it. So people loved that option because it was cheaper. It was still me designing it. They just couldn't customize exactly what they wanted. So that is with the 250 events, if that makes sense. So it is a la carte, but it is a separate company.
But is it the majority? Are they going through that process, or is the majority that or full service?
The majority is full service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's literally two completely separate companies. It's still me doing everything. It's just what you see online with Simply Cone is what you get. And you fill out the contact form, you get a quote. The pricing's on the website. So that process is super easy. But if we have clients come to Coneflower and their budget isn't where it needs to be, but it's a white and green wedding, I'll tell them like, hey, we have a collection called Luigi that will be perfect for you. It's within your budget. Like, go check it out. And they love it. Luigi, yeah. Because it's white and green.
White.
And they all have meanings behind the names. So my nephew, his name is Lucas, but we call him Louie. And then white and green, Luigi. So it just kind of fit to name it that. But yeah, it's a whole thing. We're busy over here.
Just because it's fascinating to me, do you like actually have 2 completely separate different companies on paper and everything? So you have like 2 sets of taxes you do?
Yeah.
Or are they umbrella companies underneath?
Well, actually, yeah, no, I think it's under one because it's just me. So I file everything under one, but it is separate companies. Yeah. So we have separate websites. We have separate like everything.
Okay. I think that like a lot of people talk about like how simple, I have this other company that does that, but like the logistics behind that is hard for a lot of business owners to wrap their head around. So I like my coaching business so that I don't have to do 2 sets of taxes. And so might be helpful for yours as well. I have a company underneath my main company, so I could get an EIN and have a separate sales tax and all those things. But then at least as a corporation, I'm not filing because taxes are expensive.
They're outrageous.
Yeah. And I don't want to spend another, huge amount, another QuickBooks subscription, another everything. So I just have like that under that to file once. But some people do start completely separate companies and then all of a sudden they're going through it and going, oh, this is a lot more work and paperwork.
Why did I do this?
Yeah. So it's logistically always kind of interesting to figure out, but that's kind of genius. And so it's all online and then it's by Luigi on your website. Yeah. And who do you use to kind of facilitate that? Because that's also an interesting question that I get a lot. Like, how do you set up a easy a la carte program?
So we use Wix as our like website domain and everything. But we just have landing pages for each collection. We did a photo shoot with all of them and they can click through all the items. So like I said, the all about page has all the prices listed for each item. So say if you wanted, like, we have a collection called Rival, which is orange and maroon because of UT, which is the Texas Longhorns and A&M. So I mean, I'm a diehard Aggie, and I just thought it was fitting to have, orange and maroon mixed in there. But you can go through, you can find whatever collection you love. You fill out the contact form and you just list the items that you want. So you put
Oh,
like
so you
one
don't
bridal bouquet.
check out on your site?
So you don't, I used to do that. But then it took out the kind of personal kind of interaction between it. Like I didn't want people to feel like, oh, well, we're just ordering flowers online. Like I wanted there to be a face behind it. So we're still creating like a custom quote for them, which is basically just listing their items and sending it back and saying, hey, here's your delivery fee. Or you can pick it up. So that's the other thing is that we don't set up. Well, we only deliver, or you can
Like a
pick it up.
rolling stop, throw it out the
Yeah.
van and go.
Yeah, pretty much. So there's still a personal interaction, and obviously people know it's me or it's my team that they're talking to. But everything that we do online is me. Like I'm the main
Okay.
person behind it. I have help, but like I don't want that personal touch to be taken out. Like I want people to know that I'm the one answering their DMs. Like I'm the one answering the comments. Like it's me. It's not somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a Wix site, but I have them able to check out
Mm-hmm.
or I tell them I can send an invoice. And I mean, I haven't like that's interesting about the personal touch. I've never really thought through that because I do have people go on my website and they completely check out online and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking to them, which, sometimes for a $300 order or 500, I mean, I've woke up and had a $2,000 order in there. You just
Yeah.
never,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of fun to wake up and then all of a sudden like $2,000 is sitting in your email.
Right.
But yeah, that's an interesting way to everybody looks at something different. And obviously you've
Yeah.
streamlined your process like a machine to be able to pump out that many weddings. So you're going to be filling your time this year when things are a little bit slower with doing some coaching. What does that look like?
So coaching, so we have 3 different kind of tiers. So you basically have like a floral tier, which is just like design questions, like specifically about like how do you design a bouquet? So if somebody were to book that one-on-one call, we would, go over the process on how I design bouquets. So that's the thing that people I sometimes feel like have a hard concept about is that everything that I'm sharing is how I do stuff. It's not how what the industry standard is because to be honest, I'm probably one of the main florists that goes against the industry standard.
Yeah.
And then we have a business tier, which is all things business. So taxes, QuickBooks, how you got started, keeping track of everything. And then the last tier is organization and systems and what we use to basically fine tune it. So how the girls know, like, here's your Tuesday to-do list, basically what they know to do. So it's nice because we basically do like 3 questions in a sense. So you have 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And then the last 15 minutes is kind of like an open chat. So you can ask me whatever you want. But obviously if, we need more time, then they can book another call. And I'm not the person to be like, oh, well, it's been an hour, you're cut off, you have to book another call. Yep. Like if we're in the middle of a conversation, yeah, like I'm just not that type of person. Doesn't mean that you can't talk to me for like 3 hours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm hoping to get more into that because I feel like a lot of people might just be kind of hesitant and scared because they don't really know the exact questions to ask. Right. So it's something that's definitely evolving. But it is a resource for people, but I haven't talked a lot about it recently. Like we launched it in April and then I've kind of gone quiet because I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me too, because what if they're asking me questions that I'm like not very confident in?
I don't see that.
Like there is some stuff that I'm just like taxes and everything like that. Like my mom helps me with it. She's like on my payroll because she's kind of like my accountant in a sense. She's the one who handles my QuickBooks and stuff. I mean, she's a pro. So if there's stuff like that, then obviously I'll ask her questions. But it is a very nervous thing. I mean, you put yourself out there like for basically the world to see. And trust me, there's negative stuff that comes our way too. But the coaching calls I'm really excited about. So hopefully in the next few weeks I can get more.
So how do you deal with I think that's a great like segue into how, I mean, you have put yourself out there and you do seem like you maybe were a little bit gun shy about doing that. Yeah. And maybe sometimes get a little anxiety about things. Like, how do you deal with like, if somebody's going to be a total douchebag and like
so it definitely comes with the territory. Like if you're going to do it, you need to like fully do it and just
Yeah.
know that there are mean people out there. There are people that literally scroll online just to put mean
Trolls.
comments down.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just part of it. So in the beginning, like I remember there were a few people and they were just like coming at me about stuff. And which like, everyone has an opinion, everyone has a right to say whatever, but I don't listen to it anymore. Like in the beginning it really got to me because I was like, how can somebody be so mean? Like you don't know who I am. You're seeing what's going on the screen. Like you don't know anything about my personal life. And I've gotten a lot better. I will say that you just really block them out. I mean, you can block them, you can say things back to them, like just say
It's
like,
usually not
you're
helpful.
being mean. Yeah,
They're
but
not
I
gonna
literally
care.
I just normally block them like
Okay.
and ignore it. Or if somebody puts like not a nasty comment on a reel or a post, but says something like, well, you're doing it wrong. Like this is how you need to be doing it. I'll respond to it and say like, oh, like thanks for your comment. I really appreciate it. But like I'm just sharing what we do. Like I don't want people to think like, oh, there's a mean comment. She just deletes it. So I do answer some of them just to basically say like, hey, like thanks for taking the time to say this, but you can clearly see like I'm just sharing what we do and how we do things. I'm not saying that anybody else is wrong.
Yeah. And I think,
You know?
I mean, naturally, I mean, we're a very like women dominant industry.
Yeah.
And when, I mean, it's like this in male dominated industries as well, but a lot of times when someone has an opinion, they're just like that in their life. And
Mhm.
there are a lot of mean girl florists. Like I call it florist mean girl dish.
Oh.
And I mean, but instead of pink, they're wearing like floral tops, like I'm wearing. But uh
Yes.
because I mean, I'm kind of a disruptor, especially in my area as well, because I started
Mhm.
like the Minnesota Floral Collective, which is like a Minnesota-based floral like group that I host events now, and I was
Yeah, that's
worried
awesome.
when I started that because I was like thinking all these AIFD ladies that seem a little bossy pants around here, we're gonna be like, who does she think she is? Well, I did something, and you're doing
Mhm.
something as well, and
Yeah.
that takes guts that I hope more people can admire than shun.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's not always the case. Like everybody's like, well, why didn't I do that? Or who does she think she is because they feel inadequate? So when I start digging into why is this person being Mean Girl Florist Edition, there's probably bigger reasons what's going on
Yeah.
with them, and you just got to let it go. But it's hard to do that when you're not used to that.
It is for sure. And I was very hesitant in the beginning to like really invest and do the reels and share, a lot of behind the scenes stuff because like you said, there's mean people in our industry, just like
Yeah.
any other industry. There are people out there that do not want to share behind the scenes. They don't want to share their secrets and their tips and tricks and what we do. And for me, when I first started, like I was the one I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like I would see somebody post about something and just message them and be like, hey, like, can you tell me like how you connected the Smilex to the wall or, whatever it might have been. And people would read it and not respond, or they would read it and be like, you can figure it out yourself. They would
Yeah.
tell me no. Like people were very like secretive about it. And that's their right to do that. Like I'm not against them for saying that because if they don't want to, they don't have to. But whenever all the Instagram took off and all this came about, I was like, here, I have this small platform that I can help somebody else. Like they're in the position that I was in where people wouldn't help me, but I could help them. So I'm
Yep.
telling somebody that I use command hooks to put Smilex on a wall, like what is it gonna hurt?
That's what's been such a mystery to me is why. Like
Yeah, why?
it's like, is that you telling that person, like there's a florist in town here that uses the most beautiful drieds. And
Mm-hmm.
I emailed them or I DM'd them and I was like, hey, where do you get your drieds? Reddit, no response. And I was like, if anybody asks me a question, I'm a complete open book. I will send
That's
them
me
my
too.
sales rep's info.
Yeah.
Like my Silex
Same.
I get from Bloomology out of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So like if somebody wants to know that, like I will send them my sales rep's information because I don't care. There is enough
Yeah.
around for
To
everybody.
go around. That's what I tell people too. I'm like, and I'm sure you have it in your town too, in your areas that florists are popping up left and right.
Yeah.
Like they're and not all of them, but a lot of them are like, oh my God, I love flowers. Like I could do this. Like this isn't actually their true job and what they're like living for. Like
Right.
I make money to live my life.
Yep.
And when we first launched, I remember there's a group of people that just did not like me. They didn't like what I was sharing and what I was doing. And that's completely fine. Like if you don't follow me. Like,
I know. How easy is
just
that?
don't follow me. Like instead of like talking crap about somebody, why don't you just not? Like I'm
Yeah.
not affecting you. I'm not calling anybody out. I've never like name dropped people to call them out, like because that's not who I am and it's not going to help anything. Do
Right.
I want to? Absolutely.
Do you want to send like thorns their way? Absolutely. Thorn
Yeah,
dart.
but I would never do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating to me why we can't be more of a
Mhm.
community supporting each other. Uh,
Yeah.
because like it's never on my radar to be like not sharing something.
Yeah, I'll say this, that it's not everybody like in our area. Like we have a solid group of people that we all help each other. Like I've given weddings to my friends because I can't take it on, or they've asked me to come in and help them. And like we there is a solid group of people here, but there are definitely some companies that they don't want to
So
share.
it's interesting because in my mastermind, so I have a mastermind, the Floral CEO mastermind, and I've had 3 girls from Texas in there. I've
Oh,
had
really?
one-on-one coaching clients from Texas. And
I
so I
love that.
hear about the dynamic of flourishing.
Yeah. So
And
you know what I'm talking about.
I totally know what you're talking about. I feel
Yeah.
like it's changed here because I've tried to really push and cultivate. I mean, we've had
Hmm.
events where like 50 Minnesota florists have come.
That's
And
amazing.
like it
Yeah.
doesn't need to be this way. And I hope like people seeing people like us can really start to go like, oh, I don't need to be bougie like that. I don't need to
Yeah.
be, I
Yeah.
don't need to go get my pink flower outfit out and be mean to people. Like
Yeah.
I even make a point, and I don't know if you just like to say hi to people at the wholesaler, to introduce
Oh,
myself,
yeah.
to
Yeah.
cultivate like a culture that like I am not your adversary. I am like here to support you. And
Yeah.
I think those little steps are things that people don't think about that make a big difference in the end. Because
Hmm.
I had somebody when the great glue shortage of 2021 happened. Of course, you probably didn't run out of glue, I'm guessing.
I didn't.
I didn't either. I had
Yeah.
it on lockdown, and I had
Uh-huh.
somebody like frantic that they had to make wrist corsage. And I
Mhm.
gave her a tube of glue. She paid me whatever the
Yeah.
rate was. And I just saw her. That was years ago. I just saw her at the
Hmm.
wholesaler, and she's like, "You saved me so much." And I just wanted to say thank you. That happened
Yeah.
like last week. And I was like, being kind makes a difference. And just
Yeah.
being a normal human that doesn't have to
Yeah.
have
And being authentic, like that's
authentic.
I'm the same way. I'm like, and I've literally shipped supplies to people on Instagram that are like, hey, like, where can I find this, spray paint, this floral spray paint? I'm like, hey, I have like 4 bottles, I'll just ship you one. Like it's not a big deal to like help other people. And I think that's like with the Instagram and the platform and everything, my mindset is that there's nothing wrong with like helping people in your industry succeed.
Right.
Like you said earlier, there's enough to go around. There's enough for everybody. Like we have a florist in town. Her main focus is funeral work. She's a daily florist, but she
Yeah.
loves funeral work. I don't like funeral work. It makes me sad. Like,
Right.
so when people ask me about it, I'm like, hey, like we could definitely do it, but I would recommend, this lady in town. Why wouldn't you do that? Like you're helping the
Exactly.
customer, like you're being a good person. It's a weird time right now. And I don't really understand why it has to be so cutthroat.
Well, I think that it being slower a little bit is also
Hmm.
has
Yeah.
people panicking. And just because things were really, really good for the last couple years doesn't mean that that's normalized quite yet. I
Hmm.
do believe you start to normalize as your business grows, as your mindset grows. I used to think like a $5,000 weekend was stressful, and have like this last weekend was like, around 20. And that was
Hmm.
just like a Saturday. So you start to normalize things, but
Yeah.
normalized being busier and I think are a little bit panicky. And so
Hmm.
then their claws come out and it's just not needed. It'll come
And
back.
that's the thing. So I had a neighbor because I grew up in DFW, and he said, if you don't adapt, you're gonna perish.
Right.
And that's so true. So like with us being super slow, like this is the slowest year that we'll probably have besides like our first year in business. And that's scary because like you said, you've been so busy the past few years that
Yep.
you just, like, hey, we have 5 weddings this week and the next weekend we have 6. Like, and now you have one and then you have maybe like 3 weeks where you have nothing going on.
Right.
But you just pivot. Like
Yep.
you do the Amazon storefront, you do coaching calls, you launch digital products, like you go freelance for other people. Like you still have
I'm
to make
gonna be,
money.
I'm going to be launching like a silk flower rental, and I'm redoing my a la carte.
I
So
love that.
I'm
Yeah.
using this time to come up
To
with another
make
revenue stream and to
exactly.
develop another revenue stream, because I know micro weddings are growing, and plus it creates this opportunity to start cultivating relationships with
Yeah.
planners or with whoever, which
Mhm.
people never go back to. Okay, like things are slow. What could I do? They just feel like it's out of their control. And
Yes.
you are totally in control of just, hey, I need to come up with a
Mhm.
game plan. I still feel like I have a pretty good book this year, but I'm still going to be filling my funnel back,
Yeah. Yeah.
working
And
on.
that's the time where you make like any connection that you can make, like any person that you meet. I tell everybody, I'm like, especially my team, if I'm not on site with them, I tell them, I'm like, you're on your best behavior, you're respectful to everybody. If somebody's telling you something and it's not right or they're being mean, like you call me. But every relationship that you make will eventually lead back to that. Like you said, years later, you helped that one person and they remembered that.
Yep.
Like every connection can be a potential booking. Um, and with our industry, like there are a ton of planners, there's a ton of venues, but you could lock in with one planner and they could have 50 events in a year and you get all of those just because of, how you are. So I don't know, it's a weird industry right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Do you
weird.
do you work with a lot of planners? I know you kind of mentioned planners in the beginning, or do you work more? It seems like you work more direct.
More direct for sure. So Danielle, one of my girls who works for me, she's actually has her own business and she's a planner. Um, so I'll work directly with her, but there's a few planners that I'll work directly with, but honestly, outside of that, it's one-on-one with the clients. Like I personally would rather go through a client versus their planner.
Hmm. Is it just because planners are more complicated
I
sometimes?
don't think it's necessary. I'm think maybe sometimes, but like floral is our profession. So
Yeah.
when a planner's telling me, unless it's like a client who's hired a planner and has $200,000 budget, and they're like, "Here,
Yeah.
plan my wedding." We don't want to talk to clients. I feel like we don't want to talk to vendors. I feel like that's different.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, like we see it all the time in our inbox, is that it's the same contact form that people just plug in the couple's names, their budget. Here's a list of it. Like they're not respecting our process. Like
Right.
you go on the website, you fill out the contact form. Like if I feel like more planners did that and respected our process and used our questionnaire versus telling me like, hey, I need this quote back in 24 hours, like
Yes.
this is what I need and not giving me anything, then I wouldn't have a problem working with them. But I think that, I feel like people are going to come at me. I feel like sometimes some planners might have like a hierarchy, because they're the ones dealing with everybody else,
Yeah.
that they're like, well, here's the information I need. I want a quote back. And what frustrates me is that they need a quote back super quick. We get it back to
They
them and then
usually do.
you don't hear anything back. And
Yeah.
that's what infuriates me because I know that there's probably 3 other florists that they sent the same exact email to. Everyone's bidding for it and they're just going to pick the lowest or show their clients the lowest, which it might not be true, but I have a feeling it's true
Mm.
because we don't ever get an email back from them. Um, and again, that's not every
It's
planner,
not
that's not
everyone. It
everybody,
is some of them.
but it is some of them. And it is frustrating. So I would just rather go directly to the client. And I mean, word of mouth is huge. So you can do one wedding and get, 5, 6 bookings just from that one because of their friends.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can go all day about planners.
Yeah, I think it's just it's so interesting because some planners are so amazing, and sometimes you're just like, seriously, who do you think you are? You're not going to fit through the door. Uh,
Yeah.
I I think that they can be really valuable, and I think
Oh, 100%.
If you're trying to really focus on, because a lot of, especially like my coaching clients, they're, really focused on growing their Instagram, but not growing their
Hmm.
Instagram in a way that's strategic and will be impactful. And
Yeah.
they're hoping all of these clients are going to follow them. Well, why wouldn't you want to get in front of, to me, I like getting in front of a planner that's going to have 30,
Hmm.
clients. And if I
Yeah.
build a relationship with them, that I could potentially be in front of 30 clients instead of finding this one random, like, it's like a drunken stumble through Instagram trying to find
Yeah.
a bride and groom or a couple when I
Yes.
know this person is at the party late and like
Hmm.
is the go-to person. And
Yeah.
I always teach to strategically, but that's people who want to be in bigger budget land. You want to be
Hmm.
in that 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 range. A planner is a
Yeah.
really easy way to do that, but also it's a totally different experience as a florist
Hmm.
to navigate through that and to almost like push your agenda, but also honor their agenda.
Yeah.
Can be synergy.
And I think that one thing that affects me the most with it is that a lot of planners don't know the actual pricing of floral. So you're
Yeah.
sending me a quote as a planner. If you're sending me a quote and they want a grounded arch, they want tall centerpieces, they want,
Yeah.
hanging install, they want all this. Their budget isn't going to be 5,000. Like it
Yeah.
can't.
It can't.
And I don't think that there's enough education
Right.
on the planner side about floral for them to be telling me exactly what their budget is and what they want.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of the frustration.
I had a planner that like they reached out to me and I have this wedding in a couple weeks and it's a big wedding. It's close to, 17 that
Yeah.
they wanted to make a bud vase place card, so like 250 bud vases.
Yeah,
And they
that's
were going to have some type of thing attached to it for the place card thing. So I counted it out because they were like, I quoted it anywhere from like $16 to $20 depending on the flowers that we use, which is
yeah. Yeah. I was
like,
about to say that's cheap.
yeah, I mean, we were going to use like a Dollar Tree type vase and like a couple blooms. Pretty
Yeah.
simple. But with all that, they were like, why is it so expensive? And I broke down the 17 steps that
Hmm.
I have to go through with each bud vase and that this was a deal because they were doing 250 of them.
Yeah.
And they were just like, I don't get it. And I'm like, how as a planner do you not know how
And
much
that, yeah.
a bud vase
Hmm.
costs? Like, this is not Trader Joe's. We're not manifesting a $5 bud vase. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how that is even in your thought process. They're like, well, we'll buy the bud vases. But then interesting at the same planners, I go to the mock-up meeting, which I normally don't do mock-ups because I think they're
Hmm.
ridiculous. And all of a sudden, we had greenery in the chandeliers before. They were like,
Hmm.
oh, well, there's this 10 by 10 structure that's hanging 10 chandeliers and we need to cover that. And
Hmm.
then when I
Like
left,
what?
I'm like, how did they not know that there was a 10 by 10 structure that
Yeah.
needed to be covered? So I do think there's also just planners that are
They
like,
just
they're
don't
like
know.
the village idiots running around planning weddings and should not. I mean, can you imagine that was like an expense that she had no clue? Because I had put
Yeah.
like $500 to put a couple greenery things in the chandeliers.
Hmm.
And now we're in the thousands of dollars. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I quoted out like $4,000. And she was like, I did not know. But they let the reins go.
Hmm.
And that's what happened. She's like, I don't really
Yeah.
like these planners. I was like, well, to tell you the truth, I'm not a big fan either. But
Yeah.
it's out
We
of
were supposed to have an event this weekend. And it was a pretty big one. Probably bigger than our normal ones. Loved our client. It was actually the mom planning it, and there was their Texas reception. And the sweetest lady, like me and her, we hit it off, like everything was good to go. And then a planner got involved.
oh boy.
Which, whatever is fine. We had already had everything set, like in place. We had our vision, we had everything. The planner gets involved, then she starts questioning me and sending some pretty direct and rude emails, if I may say so.
Yeah.
And just basically telling me that I was overcharging, my pricing wasn't accurate. What I was showing, our designs that we were showing weren't matching the pricing. And it was just bad negative juju. I was like,
Yeah.
what is happening? And I honestly made the decision. I called my client and I told her, I was like, look, I was like, I love you and I'm happy to work with you, but I will not work with this person. Like, for the sake of your daughter's reception, like, I'm going to have to cancel this event. And I'm really sorry. Like, there's other people that I recommend, but I will not work with somebody who's not showing me respect and is questioning my every move. And it made me really sad, but the client understood, which
The planner
also made me
send a
sad.
follow-up email, like,
Well, so we were going back and forth in email. So we had a Zoom call with the planner.
oh boy.
Um, and it, even the Zoom call getting started and like the emails leading up to it, I was like,
Oh,
honestly, I don't really want to do this. But we did it, and it was very weird because we don't offer candles. And you could tell that the planner didn't
wanted
really
some
listen to any
candles. Yeah,
didn't really listen to anything that we said. Um, and I told her, I was like, oh, well, we don't offer like candles. She's like, what do you mean you don't offer candles? You're a florist. And I'm like, we don't offer candles because I don't want to. Like, it's my business. I can do whatever I want. And there were some other things, and it just became this whole negative relationship that I knew the day of the event that it wasn't going to
yeah,
be good.
super anxiety. Yeah,
Super anxiety. Like, there was already going to be tension. I knew it wasn't going to be good. Like, from the get go, you're talking to somebody that you don't even know, and you're basically telling them, like, you're terrible at your job. Like, you
yeah,
don't know how to price things. You don't know what you're doing. Well, then one of the emails that I got she sent me pictures of a florist that she works with in the town that she's in,
of
of
course.
arrangements that were in the price range that she wanted, saying that the florist that she works with quoted like, $400 or $500 for it. You're talking massive, tall centerpieces that are completely filled with like minimal greenery, garden roses, standard. I mean, there's no way.
No
There
way.
is no way. Even wholesale, there was no way. And right then and there, I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not going to
Yep.
sit here and defend myself. Um, and it made me sad. But at the same time, like, I don't have to sit here and take that from somebody.
No,
And you're a planner who's not in my area. You clearly don't know floral pricing at all. And you're basing my pricing off of somebody else who's in a different town. Like, their markup might be different, their overhead is probably different. And
everything
I
is.
would never, I would never do that to somebody and question what they're saying,
Yeah,
especially when we're not even in the same industry. Like,
right.
you're a planner and I'm a floor. Like, it was just weird.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it
I think
made,
this normalizes like this is something even successful florists deal with. Like, because I think
yeah,
sometimes you're like, is this just me? And it's
right.
everybody
Yeah,
goes through this. So I think this
yeah.
conversation normalize that and that I think is hugely helpful because I think you always
Yeah.
wonder like, is this just me? And that's not a
For
great place
sure.
to be in when you're trying to grow a business.
Yeah. And I think like, that's the kind of stuff people don't talk about. Like,
Right.
right. You don't talk about the negative things that happen in your business. Whereas me, I'm like, this is something we need to talk about because it's okay. It's okay
Yeah.
to cancel contracts if it's not working out, or if
Right.
you don't think you can live up to what they're envisioning. Like, that's okay, because I feel like as a professional, you are being, the upfront one and saying, hey, this is a little bit more than what I'm comfortable with. Here's
Right.
a florist who does this. They exceed at it. Like, I would recommend them. And that's
Yep.
okay. Like, it's not a bad thing to talk about.
Right. It's been so delightful to talk to you today. I
Oh, well, same here. I
love
appreciate it.
I love this conversation. I hope everybody else
Me too.
garnered some things out of it. So how do they connect with you? How do they find you on Instagram and all the things?
Yeah, obviously Instagram, Coneflower Designs, our
Right.
main thing. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook. We have, our website, and Simply Cone also has an Instagram and a Facebook. But yeah,
And then
on
your
all the
Amazon
platforms.
storefront is accessed through your Instagram, the Coneflower
Mm-hmm.
Designs, and then your
Yep.
coaching stuff. How do they find that?
Coaching. So we have a stand store. It's kind of like an Amazon storefront, but you can buy things through that too, like digital products and everything. So
Okay.
that's also linked in our Instagram. We also have a Bendable, which is products outside of Amazon that we link, that you can get to. which is really cool. I really like that one. So all of those are in our bio on our Instagram.
Cool. Well, it was amazing to have you. And I hope everybody just absolutely got so many little nuggets in this. So thanks so
Yes,
much
me
for coming.
too.